Hello friends, today we'll start the chapter functions and inequalities. First we'll start with the functions. Functions, the general representation of function is y is equal to fx, where fx is a function in terms of x. That means you can say x is independent variable, where y is dependent variable, because the value of y depends on the value of x. Here are a few examples. You can see fx equal to x square plus 1, fx equal to x by 2 plus x, and there's one more example. Okay, now we'll see what is domain and range of the function. The domain of a function is the set of all possible x values which will make the function work. What does this mean? If you look at these 2 points now, you'll get the clear idea about the domain. The denominator, that means bottom of the function, suppose in any function there is a fraction, and there is a value, independent variable x in that denominator. So you'll have to take a domain such that that denominator should not be 0, and also if there is a square root sign, the value of that square root sign should not go negative. It must be positive or 0. Okay, we'll see one example. Find domain of f of x is equal to root of x minus 5. That means here what I want that the value of the square root should always be a positive, because we cannot have a square root of a negative number. That's why I'll have to pick such a value of x which will not make this negative. That means we have to choose x greater than or equal to 5. That means the domain will be 5 to infinity. Now please have a careful look at this format. X is greater than or equal to 5. That means 5 is included in the solution. That's why I have used this square bracket. That means if a particular value is included in the solution, then you have to use the square bracket. If it is not included in the solution, you have to use the round bracket. Suppose the answer would have been x greater than 5. That means not equal to 5, only greater than 5. Then you have to use this round bracket, parenthesis over here also. Okay. Now the range of function. The range of function is the possible values of y of a function that results when it substitutes all the possible x values into the function. That means if we'll put all the values of the domain, we'll get the range. Now we'll see some examples. Find range of f of x is equal to root of x minus 4. We know the domain will be x greater than or equal to 4. So if we'll put these value which are in domain, that means 4 or greater than 4, we'll get a value of f of x which will be always 0 or greater than 0. That means the range of this function will be 0 to positive infinity, and definitely, because if we'll put x equal to 4, we'll get fx is equal to 0. That means 0 is included in the solution. Now next example, the function is x square. The square of any real number is real, so x can take any real number. Okay, hence the domain will be R, and since the square of any real number is greater than or equal to 0, the range will be 0 to positive infinity. Now the third example is very good example. Find domain and range of f of x is equal to x plus 5 upon x minus 3. Now here there is a fraction, and in the fraction, in the denominator, there is value of x. So we'll have to choose domain such that this denominator should not be equal to 0. That means we can take all the values of x except 3. That means our range will be, our domain will be any real number minus 3. That means we cannot take 3, we can take any values. Now if we put any value of x over here, except 3, then we'll get some values of y, but for any value of x we cannot get the fraction value equal to 1, because put any value 2, this both numerator and denominator will never be equal. That means the range of values will be all the real numbers except 1. So we can write our range equal to any real number minus 1. Now we'll look at the types of function. This is very important. The first two important types of functions are even function and odd function. Even functions are generally those functions which are symmetrical about the y-axis. That means fx is equal to f of minus x. So here's one example: fx is equal to x square plus 2. So if we'll replace by the x by minus x, we get the same value. So that means if we are getting f minus of x is equal to fx, then that function is even function. There are some examples that cos x and sec x are even function, and any function which are in form x raised to 2n will be an even function always. Now the next example is the odd function. The odd function is always symmetrical in opposite quadrants. That means f of minus x will be equal to minus of f of x. So any function in the form of fx is equal to x raised to 2n plus 1 or 2n minus 1, it will always be an odd function, like x cube, x phi, and also sin x, tan x, cosec x, cot x. These are also an odd functions. Okay, now just check, just see that there are some functions which are neither even nor odd, because there is one term x cube and another term x square. So these are not an even or not an odd functions. Now next two examples: monotonic function. In monotonic function there may be increasing monotonic function and decreasing monotonic function. So increasing monotonic function, when it is a slightly increasing function between two values of x, then it is called as increasing monotonic, and vice versa, decreasing monotonic function. Okay, constant function, that means independent of x, there is no x in the function, then for every x value there will be same value. Okay, so that functions are called, those functions are called constant functions. Now identity function. A function is said to be identity function if each element of the function is related with itself. That means fx is equal to x. If we'll put the value x value 2, we'll get the value of function 2. 3, value of function 3. That means this function always passes through the origin. Now next is absolute value function. Absolute value function is denoted by fx is equal to mod of x. That means here value of fx remains same for both positive and negative values of x. You can say an even function is always an absolute value function. Now we'll see some basic examples. Is fx is equal to 3x square minus 5 an even function? So just you have to do replace all the x with minus x and see what you are getting. I've replaced this and I've got again 3x square minus 5. That means the function is even function because I'm getting fx again. Okay, now there is one more example. Which of the following is an odd function? A function x square minus 5x x plus 1 upon x. So we'll see one function. First is mod x square minus 5x. If we'll put all the minus x at all the places, then we'll get x mod of x square plus 5x, which is not equal to fx also and not equal to minus fx also. That means it is not an odd function. Next is x plus 1 by x. If I'll replace x by minus x, then I'll get minus of fx. That means this is an odd function. Now this is similar to our previous example. This is even function because x square is in the function. Okay. Now we'll see some more examples. If f of x is equal to x square plus 2x minus 1, then find f of 2. It's very easy. Put value of 2 in the function and you'll get the value f of 2 as 7. If f of x is equal to 4, what is f of 0? Since it is independent of x, that means if we'll put any value of x, we'll always get the value of function as 4. If f of ab is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square, then find f 2 comma minus 3. That means a value is 2 and b value is minus 3. Just put those values, you'll get the answer. Okay. If f of x is equal to x, define as the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Okay, that means greatest integer less than or equal to x. Then f of pi will be, we know that the value of pi is 3.14 and so on. So the value of function will be greatest integer less than or equal to x. That means less than or equal to 3.14, that means 3. The value of function will be 3. This is very simple. F of x is equal to x plus 1, then you'll have to find f of 1. So you have to keep putting the value of x and you'll get the answer, and the final answer will be 5. Now this is one more example. Here the value of function is depend on the different ranges of x. So here given fx is equal to 2x plus 1 when x is greater than 2, 0 when x is between minus 2 and 2, and 2x minus 1 when x is less than 2. So we have to find f of 3 into f of 2 into f of 1 into f of minus 4. So f of 3, since f3 is coming in this section, so we will find the f of 3 using this. F of 2 comes in this, so f of 2 will be 0. F of 1 also there was a small correction in this problem. Okay, I have corrected this. Now f of 1 will also come in this range. That means f of 1 will be 0. Now you don't have to calculate further because it is a multiplication. So multiplication with 0 will result in 0. So final value of this will become a 0. Now this is next example of the domain of function f of x is equal to 1 upon x plus 1. We know that denominator should not be equal to 0. That means x could not take the value of minus 1. So domain will be everything else minus 1. Now we'll see a new concept, that how to find a maxima or minima of the function. It's very simple. The steps are very simple, but first we'll understand what is the maxima and what is the minima. Maxima means the function is approaching towards maximum, and at this point, maximum point, it will start decreasing, and in the exactly opposite manner, minima is that point where the function is approaching towards the minimum of its value, and after this point it will start increasing. Now to find the maxima or minima, you have to just first find the first derivative of the function. Now equate this first derivative with 0 to get the value of x. Suppose that value of x is equal to a. Now find the second derivative of the function. Okay. Now if that second derivative is positive, that means function will be minimum at this value of a. And if that value is negative, that means function will be maximum at the value of a. Okay. Now we'll see one example. Find the maximum value of 3 plus 5x minus 2x square. So first we'll find the first derivative. We'll get 5 minus 4x. Now I want to find the value of a, so I'll equate this with 0. So I'll get the x is equal to 5 by 4. Now I'll find the second derivative. Second derivative will be minus 4. Minus 4 is less than 0. That means the function f of x will be maximum at x is equal to 5 upon 4. So to find that maximum value, just put the 5 by 4 in the original function. You will get the maximum value. The maximum value here is 6, 1 by 8. Now we'll see one more example. Here the function is x square plus 6x plus 5. The first derivative is 2x plus 6 and the second derivative is 2. That means secondary derivative is positive. That means we'll get the minimum value of the function. And at what value? Equate 2x plus 6 with 0. You'll get value of x is equal to minus 3. Now put this minus 3 in the original function. You'll get the minimum value of the function. And in this case, the minimum value of the function is minus 4. Now we'll start with a new topic, inequalities. The next topic of this chapter, inequalities. An equation having signs greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to at the place of sign of equality, that is equal to, is known as inequality or inequation. Examples are given. Okay. There are few rules and very important rules of inequalities. Okay. I suggest that you just go through all these rules. Look at the fourth rule. Okay. Here the value by which we are multiplying or dividing, the nature of the inequality will get reversed. Suppose x is greater than greater than y, and k is a value which is negative value. If we'll multiply with the k or divide with the k, the nature of the inequality, where here it was greater than, now it is getting reversed. It will become less than. So this fourth point is very important point. Please keep in mind. Now the last one is taking reciprocal. Suppose x is greater than y and both the values are positive. So if we take the reciprocal, the inequality will get reversed. Okay. Okay. 1 upon x will be less than 1 upon y. But if both the values are negative, then the 1 upon x will be greater than 1 upon y. Okay. So you can read all the points once more, because these rules are very important while solving the question based on inequalities. Now we'll see first example. Solve the inequality 3 minus 2x greater than x minus 10, where x belongs to natural number. So if we'll start solving, first we'll subtract minus 3 from both the sides, because I have to remove this constant from the left hand side. So I will get minus 2x greater than or equal to x minus 13. Now I have to bring all the variables at one side. So to remove this x, I'll divide both the I'll subtract x from both the sides. So it will become minus 2x minus x minus 13 minus x. So we'll get minus 3x greater than or equal to minus 13. Now I have to remove the constant with the variable. Now constant is negative, so we'll have to divide the equation by minus 3. So if you remember the fourth point, in which I said that while dividing with or multiplying with a negative number, the sign of the inequality will get the reverse. Okay. So if I'm dividing by minus 3, and then x greater than will become x less than equal to, okay, x less than equal to 13 by 3. And since x belongs to natural number, then our solution set will be 1 2 3 4. Now see, we'll see some more example. It's very simple. 3x plus 1 less than equal to 16. Subtract minus 1, subtract 1 from both the sides, you'll get 3x less than equal to 15. X is equal to less than equal to 5. So range will write, since it is less than or equal to 5, that means range will be minus infinity to 5. And please keep in mind, 5 is included in the solution because of this equal to sign. That means we will have to keep the square bracket in the range of solution. Now next example. 25 minus 3 2x minus 5 less than 19. So after solving all the things, we will get x greater than 7 by 2. Now it is greater than, not equal to. Okay, that means while writing the range of the solution, we'll have to use parenthesis. Okay, that means the range of solution will be 7 by 2 to infinity. Now this is one example. Here 11 plus 2x greater than 5. So after solving, the value is coming x greater than minus 3. That means range of solution will be minus 3 to positive infinity. And remember, minus 3 is not included in the solution. That's why we'll have to use parenthesis. This is a very good example. Here the question is this. when we'll start solving this, we'll get 1 by x less than 1 by 18. Now as we do in equation where 1 by x is equal to 1 by 18 is given, you directly, what do? You just take the reciprocal on the both the sides, you'll get x is equal to 18. But in case of inequality, it is not true, it is not the proper method. You'll have to get the value of x by trial and error. Okay, suppose if we'll put x as a negative number, then we'll definitely get this equation as a true equation, because any negative number will be less than equal to 1 by 18. That means x can hold the values, negative values. Okay, so the first solution is clear. Now if x is equal to 0, that means this will become infinity. That means this equation will not hold true. That means x cannot take the value of 0. Now if we'll put x a positive number and that too positive greater than 18, that means also this equation will hold true. That means for a positive value greater than 18, this equation will hold true, but positive value less than 18, this value this equation will not hold true. So we are getting mixed solution, solution set. First we got that any negative number, that means this range of solution will be minus infinity to 0, but we cannot include the 0 in the solution, that's why I have used parenthesis. Now we also got the solution that x can take value greater than 18. So that means the next is the next solution set is 18 to positive infinity. 18 to positive. That means we have to find the range of solution by combining this. We'll have to use union. So this is the notation how we write. This is a very unique example and very good example. Now this is next example. A solution of minus x square minus 13x minus 30 is greater than 0. If we'll multiply by minus 1 throughout, the sign will get changed. Greater than will become less than. Now we know that this. So for these two numbers, multiplication of these two numbers are less than 0. That means to get a negative value, that means one value should be negative and one value should be positive. So we can have two combinations over here. This is negative, this is positive, or this is positive, this is negative. So on solving, we'll get solution like x is less than minus 9, or x is greater than 4, or x is greater than minus 9, or x is less than equal to less than minus 4. So we have to find a set of solution by putting the values in the equation using a trial and error method. So using a trial and error method, we'll have to put one value above this, one value in this range, 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 and you'll have to find out for what set of values it is coming true. So I got that for x is less than minus 4 or greater than minus 9, this equation holds true. That means our solution set is this. Then now next is a system of linear inequation in two variables. Just like we have simultaneous equation where we have two equations in x and y. So there may be certain inequations where we have two variables. So how to solve them? We can solve this by a very good graphical method called as linear programming method. Okay, so we have to plot our graphs on the x and y axis. So we'll understand this by taking one example. Okay, now we have this. Solve graphically 3x plus 4y greater than 12 and x is greater than 1 and y is greater than 2, greater than or equal to 2. So x is greater than or equal to 1 will be this line, and since greater than, that means our region will be this side. Y is greater than or equal to, that means this line. Since it is greater than, that means the region will be this side. 3x plus 4y less than or equal to 12, the line is this, and since it is greater than, that means region will be on top side. That means we'll have to find the common region by all the three lines. This shaded region is the common region. So sometimes there is no common region, that means there is no solution. Okay, so please take care while finding the common region, feasible region of the solution. Okay. The common region is shaded region. Any point in the region is required solution of the system of linear equation. Now, two important points. If the line is dotted in the inequality, that means it is greater than or less than. Okay, it is strict inequality. If the line is a solid, then it is not strict. That means less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. Okay. Now, some very important point. Suppose the inequality is like y is greater than equal to k, or y is greater than k. So so the shaded region will be always on the top side. Here I have taken one example. Suppose the inequality is y is greater than or equal to 2, that means it will be like this. Okay, on the top, the shaded region will be on the top. Now if it is less than 1, okay, so since it is less than, so we'll have to use dotted line, and because it is less than, then the shaded region will be in the bottom. Similarly, if it is x less than equal to k or less than k, the shaded region will be on the left hand side of the line. So here the example is given of x is less than equal to -1. That's why line is not dotted. But if it is only greater than or less than, the line will be dotted. In this case, where the inequality is of type x greater than or equal to k, or x greater than k, then the inequality will be, the shaded region will be on the right hand side. Some more few points. If these two are given, that means shaded region is in first quadrant. X is negative, y is positive, that means second quadrant. Both are negative, third quadrant. X is positive, y is negative, that means it is in fourth quadrant. Now we'll see some example. The common region of x plus y less than equal to 5, and x plus y greater than equal to 3, and x is greater than 0 equal to 0, and y is greater than equal to 0. By these two, we know that the shaded region will be in the first quadrant. Okay, now we'll have to plot the lines of x plus y equal to 5 and x plus y equal to 3. So we know that x plus y equal to 3 will be this line, x plus y equal to will be this line. Now we have to find the common region. Since x plus y is less than equal to 5, that means the shaded region will be below this line. And x plus y greater than equal to 3, that means shaded region will be above this line. So this, the option A is our correct option, because the shaded region is between the two lines. Okay. Suppose in this question it is given greater than or equal to 5, that means shaded region will be above this line, and it is given x plus y less than equal to 3, that means shaded region will be below this line. Hence we cannot find a common shaded region for both the lines. That means there will be no solution. But in this case there is solution, and the solution will be any point in this shaded region. You can look at the solution, how I have solved. I have converted in this format just to decide the feasible region is towards origin or away from origin. Oh, this is wrong. Okay. See, this will be like this. Okay. So this will, the feasible region will be away from the origin, and the option A is our right option. Now the next question, there is one shaded region given. Since it is dotted line, it will be less than or greater than. Okay. Now the line represent x is equal to -3 and the shaded region is on the left hand side. That means all the values will be less than -3. That means the shaded region represents x less than -3. It's very simple. This is one more example. A commutative function is such that f of xy is equal to f of yx. Which of the following is not commutative? So these in this option there are three functions given, and the option D is none of this. So we'll see how to solve this. Solution is we have to find f of y of x for all the function. So for first function it is same, for the second also it is same, for the third also it is same. That means all the functions are commutative. That means option D is a right option. Now we'll see next example. The next example is the common region by the inequalities: x minus y less than equal to 2, x plus y less than equal to 6, x greater than equal to 0, y is greater than equal to 0. Now we'll directly see the solution. Okay, in this solution, because of these two, that means feasible region is in the first quadrant. Okay, now x minus y less than equal to 2, I'll have to convert in terms of y. So y will be equal to less than minus x plus 2. That means y is greater than x minus 2. Means the feasible region will be away from the origin. Okay, so I have to convert this minus y to plus y because the standard format is I have to convert in terms of y only. Okay, so y is greater than or equal to x minus 2. That means feasible region will be away from the origin. For the first line, away from the origin. For the next line, towards origin. So this is a line of x minus y less than equal to, that means away from the origin, and this line is x plus y less than 6, that means towards origin. That means the common region will be this. Here we cannot have common region because the equation itself, the lines itself are wrong. Here the lines are right, but x minus y less than equal to 2, here it is given towards origin, which is not right. So the option A will be the right option. Now we'll see some of the actual GATE problems. In GATE, generally they have asked problem based on maxima and minima, and some of the problems on inequalities also. So for the first question is the cost function for a product in a firm is given by phi q square, where q is the amount of production. The firm can sell the product at a market price of rupees 50 per unit. The number of units should be produced by the firm such that the profit is maximized. So profit is selling price minus cost price. We know that. So selling price is 15 to q and the cost is phi q square. So this function will have to maximize the profit. So you'll find the first derivative and the second derivative. Second derivative is less than 0. That means we can maximize this function. Now at what value? At which value? 50 minus 10q is equal to 0. We have to equate this first derivative by 0. Okay. So we'll get the value of q is equal to 5. That means for the phi number of units, we can maximize the profit. Now the next question, which came in 2012. A political party orders an arch for entrance to the ground in which an annual convention is being held. The profile of an arch follows the equation y is equal to 2x minus 0.1 x square, where y is the height of arch in meters. The maximum possible height of the arch is, so the function is already given. Okay, profile is already given. So we have to find the first derivative. First derivative is second derivative is less than 0. That means we can maximize the height. So at which value we have to equate this by 0. We'll get x is equal to 10. So putting x is equal to 10 in the function, we'll get 10, 20 minus 10 is 10 meters. The maximum height will be 10 meters. Now the next question, the variable cost V of manufacturing a product varies according to the equation V is equal to 4Q, where Q is the quantity produced. The fixed cost F of production of the same product reduced with Q according to the equation F is equal to 100 divided by Q. How many units should be produced to minimize the total cost? That means a variable cost and the fixed. Here the total cost is V is equal to F, V plus F, that means variable plus fixed. So the total cost will be this. We can solve this by maxima minima, but we can solve this by using options also. Just put all the options one by one and you will get the values. So option A gives the minimum cost. If we'll put all the values simultaneously, the option A will give the minimum cost. You can check by this by yourself. Okay. Now the next question came in 2011. Find the given that f of y is equal to mod of y upon y and q is a non-zero real number, the value of f of q minus f of minus q is. So we'll solve this. F of q is equal to mod q upon q and f of minus q will go to mod of minus q upon minus q. Mod of minus q will come bigger mod of q only. So if we'll combine, we'll get the answer as 2, hence the option D. Now the next example, the number of solution for the following system of inequalities is. Before starting this problem, I just want to tell, if we are getting any feasible region in the given system of inequalities, that means the number of solution will be infinite. And if we are not getting any feasible region, that means the number of solution will be 0. There will be no solution. Okay. So in this example, just have a careful look. This 2 will give the region in the first quadrant. Now this x1 plus x2 less than 10 and 2x1 plus 2x2 is greater than or equal to 22. If we'll simplify this, the two equation will become like this. That means x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 10 will give the shaded region below them, and x1 plus x2 greater than 11 will give the shaded region above them, and these two lines will not intersect. Okay, never intersect. That means there will be no common feasible region. That means there will be no solution at all. You can see our previous example, this example, x plus y is equal to 3, x plus y is equal to 5. These two are two parallel lines. So there also x plus y 10, x plus y 11. That means there will be two parallel lines, but 10 below and 11 above. That means there will be no common feasible region. Okay, that means there will be no solution at all. Now the next example, it is very good example. This question came in 2011. If 2y plus 1 divided by y plus 2 is less than 1, then which of the following alternative gives the correct range of y? The solution will start. Okay, 2y plus 1 upon y plus 2 minus 1 is less than 0. Okay, now I'll have to simplify this. So to make a common denominator, I'll multiply the value of 1 by y plus 2 in the numerator and y plus 2 in the denominator. Okay, so now I got the common denominator. So if I'll simplify, I'll get this: y minus 1 upon y plus 2 is less than 0. So we know that we cannot have 0 in the denominator, so we cannot have this value y is equal to minus 2. So y is equal to minus 2 is not allowed. So take a random value in between these values to check. Let y is equal to 0. We'll get minus 0.5, which is less than 0. Hence the range is minus 2 less than y and less than 1, because we can take the random values between from these options, and if we'll take such values, we know that the answer will become this. Okay, so now I think you are very much clear how to find the solution, because we have taken a random value between these two values. Okay, so we got this solution, hence the option B is the correct option. Now the next question which came in year 2010. given the following function f1 n raised to 100, f2 n 1.2 n, f3 n 2 raised to n by 2, f4 n 3 n by 3, which function will have the largest value for sufficiently large value of n, that is n is nearly equal to infinity. Sometimes students get confused with these kind of problems. That means they think that this is very tough problem, but we can solve this very easily. Okay, just have a careful look at the function f2. F2n is equal to 1.2 raised to n. Okay, and f3n is 2 raised to n by 2, that means 1.4 root of 2 raised to n, that means 1.41 raised to n. And f of 3 f of 4 will be cube root of n, a cube root of 3 raised to n, that means 1.44 raised to n. That means if we compare f2, f3, f4 irrespective of the value of n, because n is tending towards infinity, the value of fourth function, that means 1.44 raised to n, will be highest. Now we'll have to compare between f4 and f1, because in f2, f3, f4 is highest. Now just the remaining one is f1. Okay, now we'll have to do this by trial and error method. Now we'll have to take some values of n. Suppose n is 1000. So f1 n will become 1000 raised to 100, that means 10 raised to 300. And f4 if we'll put this n value 1000, that it will become 3 raised to 333, 1000 by 3, that means the value will become 9 raised to 167, nearly 9 raised to 167. So we can see clearly f of 1 is greater than f of 4. But okay, but don't think that this is final. We'll have to use some more values. We'll have to assume some more values which is greater than 1000. We'll have to see whether this is right for all the values or not. So now if we'll assume n is equal to 10,000, so it will become 10 raised to 400, but this will become very large, 9 raised to 1667. That means if as n will n goes on increasing, f4 will have greater value than f1. So the f4 and the function, fourth function, will always will have a largest value for n tending towards infinity. Okay, this is a very good example. So you can have another look. Now one more example came in 2010. Consider the function fx is equal to max of 7 minus x plus 3, in which range does f takes the minimum value. Now the best way to solve is we'll put minimum and maximum values of all these range in the function and find the minimum values of fx. Okay, so by keeping -6 we'll get minus the 8, and -2 will get 13. So minimum value is 8 and maximum value is 13. So similarly for other ranges also we'll have to find the minimum values of 8 and maximum values of minimum value of fx and maximum value of f of x. So after putting all this, we got that in this range, the third range, we are getting minimum value of fx. That means in this range, the x less than equal to, greater than equal to 2 and less than equal to 6, we are getting the minimum value of the function. That means our answer is C. Okay, this is a very simple example. Don't get don't start solving by difficult methods. Okay, just have a simple look, have a simple thought behind the problem. Okay, so I think now you are much clear about the function and inequalities. Please do practice all the problems, because without practice you will not remember the rules of inequalities. Okay, so please do practice. Okay, thank you.